Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am back with part 5 of reacting to your football hot takes. Like always, when I do these videos, I posted something on the community tab a couple days back asking you guys for some of your hottest takes in regards to the beautiful game. And like always, man, for every part that I've done in this series, you guys have delivered every single time. Over 200 responses to this post, man. So thank you guys so much. Everybody who submitted their hot take, it means the world to me. You guys are honestly the best. And yeah, you guys know the drill. I'm going to go through some of the best ones that I saw, give you guys my opinion, whether I agree or disagree. And yeah, this should be fun. Let's not drag this intro on any further, and let's start reacting to some of these hot takes. The first take we have here is literally the definition of a hot take, and it's Ji-Sung Park is the best EPL midfielder of all time. By the way, bro, I love your profile picture. That is one beautiful, handsome man you have on there. But anyway, moving on past that. No. He's not even top 10 to me. Now look, I don't want to make it sound like I'm disrespecting Ji-Sung Park because to me, he is one of the most underrated midfielders in the history of the Prem. I mean, this guy was a pivotal part to those United teams with Sir Alex Ferguson that obviously won the UCL in 08 and made 2 more UCL finals obviously in 09 and 2011 that won 3 straight Premier Leagues and were arguably, before Man City came around, the most dominant team in the Premier League era. I mean, Ji-Sung Park was a part of those teams and he was an engine for those teams. I mean, that guy, the one thing I remember the most about Ji-Sung Park is his inability to get tired. This guy would run up and down the pitch and never even break a fucking sweat. I remember the UCL finals in 09 in Rome and 2011 in Wembley when Barca played Man United. This guy would just chase Chay, Iniesta, Messi around the pitch. That was that's what he was asked to do, just chase them around the pitch, and he did a good job of it, bro. But again, it didn't really work out because they lost both of those finals. But I mean, Ji-Sung Park, he always gave maximum effort, never complained, and gave it his all every time he was on the pitch. I mean, and again, would never get tired. And I think as a person, I respect that, man. Honestly, I do. And I think as a football fan, I respect that as well because a lot of times nowadays, you see football players, they don't run, they don't hustle, and that guy literally was the definition of hustle. He would just hustle every time he was on the pitch. So I rate Ji-Sung Park very highly, okay? I'm not going to sit here and shit talk him. But saying he's the best EPL midfielder of all time, I mean, just off the top of my head, obviously Kevin De Bruyne, Lampard, Scholes, Gerrard, obviously, Yaya Toure is better. I think David Silva is better. I think Santi Cazorla was better. I think Cesc Fabregas was better. I think Roy Keane obviously was better. I think there's a lot of players who were better than Ji-Sung Park. This would be a hot take if you said even top 5. It would still be a hot take. So to say he's the best is wild to me. But again, that's what this video is, hot take. So I appreciate that. But yeah, to me, again, I rate Ji-Sung Park very highly. One of the most underrated midfielders in the history of the Prem. But to say he's the best EPL midfielder of all time is wild. The next take we have here is Leicester City winning the league is the greatest achievement in club football. I disagree. I think Leicester City winning the league back in 2015-2016, of course, is the greatest underdog story in the history of football, of club football at least. But to me, the greatest achievement in football and club football, like the greatest thing you can accomplish in club football to me is winning a sextuple, which only 2 teams have done. Winning every single trophy you compete for in a football calendar to me is the greatest thing you can accomplish. It is the pinnacle of club football, and it's really hard to do. That's why only 2 teams have ever done it. Obviously, Barca 08-09 and Bayern Munich 10 years later in 2019, sorry, 2020, not 2010. 2019, 2020, obviously with Lewandowski and Gnabry and those guys, obviously, that we know. That to me is the greatest accomplishment in club football. And also, I think going invincible is better. I think getting 100 points in a Premier League season is better like Man City did. I think only conceding 15 goals in a Premier League season like Chelsea did in 04-05, obviously with Mourinho, is a better accomplishment. Now look, I don't want to take away from Leicester City again because what they did is it's insane, bro. Like 10,001 odds to win the Prem, and you go on and win the Prem, and those guys, Jamie Vardy, Riyad Mahrez, and N'Golo Kante, Robert Huth, Wes Morgan, Schmeichel, all those guys can accomplish whatever they want in their career, but they will always be known for like taking that team to glory. I mean, Riyad Mahrez went to Man City. He won everything you can win. We still are known for obviously winning the Premier League with Leicester. That to me is going to be better than winning the UCL, winning the treble. That to me is a crowning achievement. Same with Jamie Vardy and same with all those guys. But to say it's the greatest achievement in club football, not to me. Again, as an underdog story, it does not get better than Leicester City in 2015, 2016. But as an accomplishment or as an achievement, like I said, I think a sextuple is better. I think going invincible is better like Arsenal did. I think Centurions are better. I think obviously what Chelsea did in 04-05, only conceding 15 goals, I think that's better. So all those things to me are better. But again, not to take away from Leicester City because what they did, it was never done before and we'll never see it again. I mean, no one can ever replicate what those guys did, which is obviously amazing. But yeah, to me, I'm going to disagree with this one, like I said. The next take we have here is the Mbappe versus Holland debate is not even close. Mbappe is far clear. I agree. And look, man, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but again, not to take away from Erling Haaland, I think he's the second best player in the world currently. I think in world football, the second best player in the world is Erling Haaland. And I'm not about this bullshit of disrespecting Haaland because I think he's a very, very good player and will go down as one of the best strikers this game has ever seen. I believe he's that good. But this is not an insult to Erling Haaland. It's more of a, it's just how good Kylian Mbappe is, bro. Kylian Mbappe is insane. He's an alien, bro. He's entered Messi territory where like everybody knows who number 1 is. Everybody else is fighting for second. And obviously Messi in his peak, Ronaldo fans can say whatever they want. We all knew Messi was number one and Ronaldo was second. And Mbappe is number one. No one's coming along to take that throne from him. Maybe Jude Bellingham, I can see it maybe later in the future, but for right now, I mean, the guy's insane. He is a game record like I've never seen before. We saw it in the World Cup final. We see it in the UCL when he plays there. Every time this guy plays in a big moment, he steps up to the occasion, and he's insane, bro. Obviously, already a World Cup winner at 18, made a UCL final. Is going to go to Madrid next year and probably win like 4 UCLs in a row with that team because he's going to be fucking insane. Yeah, so to me, Mbappe, Holland debate, again, to me, it's not a debate. I think Mbappe is far and away the best player in the world. Again, I think Holland is second, but if I'm talking to you about football and I ask you who's the best player in the world, then you don't automatically say Kylian Mbappe. You don't know what you're talking about. So to me, yeah, he's going to be number one, and I don't really think it's particularly close like you said. The next take we have here is Jamal has the potential to be the greatest footballer in history by far. Oh man, look man, I love Lamine Jamal. You guys know if you watch this channel, I love Lamine Jamal, and I believe, I've said it multiple times, he will be a multiple-time Ballon d'Or winner in my opinion. I honestly believe. I think his ceiling is one of the best players this game has ever seen. But to be the greatest footballer in history, I mean, I'm spoiled by Messi because I watched Messi's entire career, and I don't think anybody will accomplish what Messi did. And also, Messi, to me, we'll never see a footballer like Messi. I think Lamine Jamal as a footballer is as amazing as a talent as I've seen, but Messi's a different level, bro. And I don't think he'll reach Ronaldo either. I think Messi and Ronaldo, you got to put them in a separate category. The longevity, the stats, the accolades, the eye test, they did everything. But again, if we're saying greatest of all time, to me, Messi's the greatest footballer in history by far. And you're saying that Lamine Jamal is going to be you're saying that he has the potential to be the greatest footballer in history by far. By far is crazy. I mean, saying he has the potential to be the greatest footballer of all time is already crazy. But to say that he's going to surpass Messi and be far and away better than Messi is insane, bro. Lionel Messi is the greatest footballer in the history of the world, and he will be the greatest footballer of all time until the football ends. Until we stop playing football and 1,000 years from now, when the Martians take over or whatever the fuck happens, or AI takes over football, it does not matter. Messi, it's Messi, bro. World Cup, Ballon d'Ors, UCLs, eye tests, stats, everything you want a player to have, Lionel Messi has it. I think Lamine Jamal, yes, he's starting young. I mean, you can't have a better start than what he's having. I mean, he kind of has a head start already because he started younger than Messi. But do I see Lamine Jamal getting to 8 Ballon d'Ors or 9? No. Do I see Lamine Jamal maybe one day winning a World Cup? Maybe, but being as good as Messi was at the World Cup, I'm not sure. Again, I don't want to make it sound like I'm shitting on Lamine Jamal because I love him, bro. I want to see this kid play at Barca for the rest of my life. But to say that he's not going to be better than Messi to me, and I don't see how he can be better than Ronaldo. Maybe he can enter top 3, maybe he can surpass Maradona or Pelé. But to be in that echelon with those two guys, you got to have the longevity, you got to have the consistency, you got to not get injured, and you got to be a fucking monster when it matters most, which both of those guys were. So to me, again, I appreciate the take. I get it. It's a hot take. That's what I'm asking for. But I disagree vehemently with this. I don't think it's going to happen. And again, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think it's going to happen. The next take we have here is Chay should actually stay. Look, bro, I was obviously very critical of Chay. If you guys watch my videos, I was very critical of Chay, especially in December and January and early February when we were getting spanked, obviously, in the Super Cup final and losing in the Copa del Rey and losing to Villarreal. I was very upset with Chay. I think the results were poor. And obviously, he announced that he was leaving the club no matter what, no matter if we win the UCL or anything. I think Chay has picked it over the past couple months. And even with the injuries we've been having, making it to the UCL quarterfinal without Frankie de Jong and Pedri and playing well against Napoli, to me, it's obviously amazing. I think Chay has shown glimpses that he can be an elite manager, but I don't think Chay should stay. I think Chay, no matter what happens, he should leave at the end of the season. He looks worn out, and I think it'd be better for him in the club if he just takes like a leave of absence for a little bit, maybe come back in a couple years. But I think Barca needs some fresh blood, and I think they need someone new to come in. Again, I don't want to make it sound like I'm disrespecting Chay because I do think that he's done a better job. I do think that he has, and I love Chay, both as a player, not so much as a manager because I do criticize him a lot, but as a player, I mean, I wish this guy could, I pray this man can win the European Cup for Barca and do what Johan Cruyff did and what Pep Guardiola did, being a player for Barca and a coach for Barca, and both times lifting the European Cup. I think that would be an amazing storyline for Barcelona, and I would honestly be so happy to see that. But I don't think Chay should be staying. I think Chay should go. I think Barca should bring in someone new and see what happens. Maybe bring in a Deserbi, maybe bring in a Hansi Flick, a Julian Nagelsmann, bring in some fresh blood, because obviously this year, I mean, yes, right now we're playing well, but the majority of this year, don't forget, we were pretty shit. I mean, we spent 3 months without being able to beat a team by over 1 goal, which is obviously unacceptable. Now, again, like I said, the performances have been better as of late, but I think Chay, even if we win the UCL, which again, I don't know if it's going to happen, I hope it does. I think we have a better chance now that we saw the draw, but even if we win the UCL, which again is kind of far-fetched, but I think you should leave no matter what. The next tip we have here is Messi 2019 is the greatest footballer of all time. I think we're talking about being able to dominate a game. Messi 2019 is the best footballer that I've ever seen. Messi in 2011, 2012 was a better goal scorer. Messi in 2015 was maybe a better team player, But in terms of like putting the team on your back and saying, come with me, I'm going to carry you to wherever we need to go, 2019 Messi is the best version I've ever seen. And 2019 Messi, again, the accolades aren't there. Okay, he won the Ballon d'Or, that's great, but he obviously didn't win the UCL, and he lost, and Barca lost in embarrassing fashion. Obviously, Ronaldo, no way, won every award you can win. Messi in 2011 won every award you can win. They won the UCL, they won everything. But Messi 2019 didn't do that. He won the Ballon d'Or, obviously, but I'm talking about like team trophies. Only won the league, lost the Copa del Rey final, lost the UCL semifinal. But as a footballer, like looking at them as players, right? What is the best version of a player of all time? To me, it's 2019 Messi. I've never seen a player be so dominant at every facet of attacking football. I mean, when I saw that man play in 2019, I really believed I'm watching the best player that I've ever seen at the peak of his powers. That's what I thought I was seeing in 2019, and I think I even like, what is it now? 5 years later, I still believe that. So again, I watched Messi in 2011, 2012 be amazing, scored 73 goals in a season. I watched Messi in 2015 win the treble and be amazing in that UCL campaign. And you know, obviously with Messi, with Suarez and Neymar. But in 2019, Messi didn't have Neymar. He had Suarez, but it was kind of like a wash Suarez. And he basically dragged that team as far as you can drag them. And those players on that 99 field, they let him down. So to me, again, as a player, 2019 Messi, I agree with you, he's the greatest footballer that I've ever seen at least. The next take we have here, Saka is better than Foden, and it's not close. You see, where you lose me, it's that it's not close. I believe Phil Foden's a better player, but I love Bukayo Saka. I'm not about this Bukayo Saka disrespect. Bukayo Saka is an elite player. The past 2 years, he's been a pivotal part in an Arsenal team that last year finished second in league, was contending for the league basically the whole way. And this year, he's been amazing. And obviously, Arsenal might win the league. They're top of the table right now, and it's mid-March. So Arsenal might very well go on and win the Premier League. And Bukayo Saka has been a top 2 player for Arsenal the past 2 years. At only 20 or 21 years old. I mean, the kid is a phenom. Maybe 22 actually, but the kid is a phenom, bro. His one-on-one play is amazing. His playmaking is fantastic. He can track back. His pace, his dribbling. I mean, this guy is so good. But to me, Phil Foden, when I watch him play, I see a future Ballon d'Or winner in the making. I see Phil Foden as a future Ballon d'Or winner. And what he can do in that City team is insane. I mean, that City team is full of stars, and he sometimes shines the brightest. And if Man City win the Premier League this year, I think the player of the season, PFA player of the year, should go to either Rodri or Phil Foden. I think Phil Foden has a case, just as good a case as anybody in that City team, that he should be the player of the season for the Premier League, because he's been amazing this year. He, like that game against United, we saw him, man, in full display. The kid is amazing, man. He's just an insane talent, generational in my opinion. Again, I think they're very close. I think England, the future of English football is in safe hands with both of those guys because they're both generational. But again, where you lose me is not even close. I think Foden is better. I think Saka's close, but I think Foden's a little bit better. So for me, yeah, I appreciate the take, but I think I'm going to disagree with this one. The next one we have here is probably the goofiest take that I've ever read. Barca's wins at the Bernabeu usually are due to Madrid not being at full strength / not important enough for Madrid to care about. Wow, bro, you guys are so cool. You don't care about an El Clasico. What are you talking about, man? Like, when we beat you 4-0, we weren't at full strength. In 2015, 2016, that was Messi didn't play that game. He didn't play the first half. When we beat you 3-2 in 2017, you know who didn't play that game? Neymar didn't play that game. So what the fuck is, when we beat you 2-0 in the UCL semifinal when Messi scored that brace, your whole team was there. If anything, we're not at full strength when we play you guys at the Bernabeu, and we spank you every single time. I mean, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. By the way, when we beat you 6-2, that was for the league, that game. If Real Madrid win that league, if you guys win that game, the 6-2 in May of 2009, you guys are in very good position to win the league, and we spanked you 6-2, and you guys were at full strength. So this is crazy. I don't know what type of coping this is. Maybe it's the way the Real Madrid fans try and like deal with the fact that Barca spanked them so many times in their house. But yeah, bro, this is crazy. If anything, we're the ones that are not at full strength. Like I said, 2017, missing Neymar in that 3-2. 2016, when we beat you 4-0, Messi didn't start the first half. So this again is crazy. 4-0. When we beat you 4-0 in 2022, you guys didn't have Benzema, but our squad was nowhere near yours. Your team won the UCL. We were starting fucking Eric Garcia at center back. Like, so I don't know what you're talking about, but yeah, this is crazy, man. The coping is insane. The next take we have here is in 3 years, Barca will be dominating Europe. Bro, I hope you're right. And I could see us doing that 100%. I think if Barca get the right manager after Chay leaves, and this project keeps on building, and we keep bringing up these kids from La Masia who continue to showcase that they are some of the most talented youngsters in Europe. I mean, I could, like, imagine how good Pau Cubarsí, Lamine Yamal, Marc Guiu, Vitor Roque are now. I mean, imagine how good they are now, and also Araujo and Koundé, who are still very young. Imagine how good these guys are going to be in 3 years. Imagine how good Lamine Yamal is going to be when he's 19 and has years of professional football under his belt. Pau Cubarsí as well, Vitor Roque as well. I mean, Marc Guiu, Fermin Lopez, all these guys. Pedri, Gavi. I cannot believe I forgot Pedri and Gavi. Pedri and Gavi. I mean, Barca's young core is there, man. Barca are not in no man's land. I don't want people to think that Barca are in no man's land. Barca actually, we're in really good position. And in a couple of years, man, this team is going to be so dominant because we're going to have the pieces, man. Look, I understand the financial situation is not great, but the thing that you have when you play when you're Barcelona is that you have La Masia in your backyard. You could just pick out players that you want, and they're going to end up being generational, like we're seeing every single week. I mean, every time Barca start a new youngster, he turns out to be better than the previous one. Like I said, Lamine Yamal, Pau Cubarsí, Gavi, Roque, obviously not from Masia, but still, we brought him in from Brazil, and he's playing amazing. Every time I see him play, he looks amazing, and I wish he got more playing time, but Xavi, you know, and his fucking things. But yeah, man, to me, Barca will be dominating Europe in no time. I mean, this year, we're already in a UCL quarterfinal, and that's a bad year for us, obviously. I'm not saying we're going to win it, but, I mean, I think we're seeing the building process now of Barcelona. I think in a couple of years, similar to Chelsea, by the way. Chelsea have a lot of young players, and when they come good, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. But yeah, but Barca, unlike Chelsea, we're not spending $1 billion. I mean, Barca are literally picking these players out of their backyard in La Masia. So I agree with you, bro, and I hope you're right. And obviously, hopefully, in 3 years from now, I'm still doing YouTube. Obviously, I hope I'm still alive, obviously, God willing. But and we could see it together, like all of us. We could just experience it together, watching Barca boss Europe like they used to back in the day. But yeah, man, I agree. I think Barca in 3 years, we could definitely be one of the most dominant, if not the most dominant team in European football. Obviously, Real Madrid's going to be there. Man City's going to be there because they also have young talent. But I think Barca is going to be right there in the mix as well. The next take we have here is Barca need to retire the number 10. I know there could be more legends, but they will never escape the pressure of being like Messi, Ansu, and possibly Lamine in the future. I agree, bro. I think wearing the number 10 for Barcelona is arguably the heaviest shirt in all of sports, honestly. I mean, obviously, you have guys like Messi who wore it for years, and he's the greatest of all time. No one will ever come close to Messi at Barca and what he did with that number 10 shirt. Obviously, before Messi was Ronaldinho. Even fucking Maradona wore it back in the day. I mean, Maradona, one of the top 3 greatest players of all time, in my opinion. He wore the number 10 for Barca. And I think wearing that shirt, we saw with Ansu Fati, you just put pressure on these kids that they don't need, man. I think Lamine Yamal, he should wait a little bit until he wears the number 10. Just wait a couple years and then you can get the number 10. But just wearing it that young, it's like, I'm the next Messi. I'm next up. And living up to Messi's standards, especially what he did at Barca, is literally impossible, bro. It is impossible. I don't care what anybody says. Lionel Messi will forever and ever be our greatest ever player. And to me, giving those kids that pressure is just too much, man. When Joao Felix wanted the number 10, I didn't want him to take the number 10. No one should have the number 10. It should be retired. I don't even think you can retire actually numbers in La Liga. But if you could, I would retire the number 10 because that pressure that brings on these young kids is just too fucking much. And we've seen it already with Ansu Fati. And I don't want Lamine Yamal to go through that same thing. And the last one we have here is Barca can win the UCL this year. Ah, man, I hope so. I hope so, bro. When I saw the bracket, I think I'm very hopeful now. I'm very, very hopeful that Barca can win the UCL. I think number 6 is coming, guys. Obviously, you got to get past PSG first, but I think we will do that. And then after that, either Atletico Madrid or Dortmund. And then after that, it's a UCL final in Wembley. And Barca have not lost the UCL final since the 90s, man. So I really believe that Barca can win the UCL. I believe in this team. I think that as time goes on and we get players back like Frenkie de Jong and Pedri, and the team keeps building from that confidence that we've built, obviously, for the past couple weeks, playing a lot better. I think once we get to that, I mean, we can carry that momentum. I mean, who thought that Spurs were going to reach a UCL final? Who thought that Chelsea back in 2021 were going to win the UCL? Very few people did, and they did it, man. Because anything can happen in a knockout style competition. In Barcelona, man, we have the talent. The squad is there, bro. Once we get Frenkie de Jong and Pedri back, you're talking about a front line of Lamine Yamal, obviously, Lewandowski and Rafinha. Hopefully, he can start playing on the left because he looked good on the left against Napoli. So I hope he can stay in that position and give us that production every time he plays on there. Obviously, a midfield of Gundogan, Frenkie de Jong and Pedri if they come back. And if not, Christensen, obviously, Frenkie de Jong and Pedri, whoever you want to put in there. But that midfield is good. And a backline who's been one of the best in Europe for the past couple weeks, man. I mean, Pau Cubarsí, obviously, we know how good he is. Kunda looks better and better every time he plays right back. Araujo, obviously, we know he's amazing. And Joao Cancelo has been playing great, obviously, going forward. And Ter Stegen's still Ter Stegen. So I think we have everything we need to win the UCL, bro. I hope you're right. But obviously, we'll wait and see if we could do it, man. I hope we do. I hope we can, though. Fingers crossed. And that, guys, is the end of the video, man. Shout out to everybody who submitted their hot take. If yours was not featured in today's video, then I apologize. But I promise you, we're going to do multiple parts. We're going to do like 50 parts of this series. So don't worry. You're going to get yours featured at some point. And yeah, man, I love every single one of you. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.